Hi, everyone. Welcome to what will be the new Interested Reader podcast. I'm just going to do a bit of an update today. The first episode is still scheduled to be released on October 20th of this year. So that's coming up. It's a lot faster than I thought. I thought I had a little more time. So I need to get on that. For the first few episodes, they'll probably be pre-recorded by weeks in advance. The plan is to do it once a week, maybe every 2 weeks, kind of like before. But I'll probably try to do some batch recording so I can get a few episodes recorded. The idea is that I'll be talking about some sort of current event space thing, so I can't go too far in advance. But so in the first episode, I'll talk more about why I'm doing this change of direction. If you've listened to the trailer for the new podcast, I talk a little bit about what I'm going to be doing, merging science and spirit, and how it's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always liked to talk about spirituality. I just never really went that direction. So in that first episode, we'll talk more about why I'm doing that and what I plan on kind of doing with the podcast. I might try some different formatting things, maybe doing actual video. I'm not sure anybody actually wants to look at my face, for 30 minutes or something. That'd be ridiculous. So we'll talk more about that in that first episode. A couple other things I wanted to let you guys know about. So the website is updated a little bit. I've got it up here on the screen if you're watching. This is a new section of the website, Astronomy for the Soul. If you go to the usual website, theinterestedreader.com, there's a section that you can click on to come to this page. This is kind of the new site that I'll be updating mostly. If I have time, I'll still be doing workbooks and lessons for physics and astronomy. I still love doing all that. But right now I'll probably be working more on this kind of a new division, a new section of the Interested Reader website. So here's kind of the front page for Astronomy for the Soul. You can click up here on the banner on the top menu. So eventually, I've got a blog here that I'm going to be talking about. Hopefully I'll be updating this more regularly. Once a week is the plan. It's always the plan. Journals and workbooks. I do like journaling. I love journaling. I love having notebooks, paper of any kind, post-it notes. And then I've got this pop-up screen that was not supposed to pop up like this. I have it supposedly on just 2 pages, and it seems to be on every page. It's super annoying, but I would appreciate it if you guys are watching. If you would actually fill out this form and download this journal that I made. It's called a 4-step journal to recharge your spirit. It's something that I do when I feel like I'm just really stuck on something and I just can't seem to move forward. And when that happens, I tend to get really down, really depressed pretty quickly. So I found that doing these 4 steps kind of helps me get out of that slump, out of that depression, and really start moving forward. And I've heard it said that the opposite of depression is not happiness, it's action. So that's a big part of what this journal is about, is making sure that you take action, that you do something. It doesn't have to be anything big, but you have to do something. And as soon as you start doing anything, you tend to get out of that depressive state. So I kind of try to put all that in a 4-step journal. There's some journal pages, some steps to walk through and write down what you're doing. I would appreciate it if you're listening, if you would, fill out this form, download it, tell me what you think about it. You can email me, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, leave comments. Because I do love doing these sorts of things, but I also would like some feedback to see if it's helpful for anybody. If there's something else you want to know about, like if you want me to do some other sort of journal, I would love your suggestions because I love doing this sort of stuff. So hopefully, I don't know why the webpage is doing it like this. So anyway, we go to this journals and workbooks page. And I apologize if that pop-up gets really annoying. I didn't know it was going to do that. So here's another one of the first journals I did, a journal to the center of the soul. Just 18 prompts just to kind of, get you thinking. Stargazing for meditation, I really like this one. It's basically turning stargazing into a meditative practice. So again, there'll be some journal prompts and just some overall why stargazing is beneficial, how you can make it more meditative, more spiritual if you're into that sort of thing. And I will be working on more as we go. So the other thing that I am working on is a book called Astronomy for the Soul. I've actually finished it. So this is the cover page for it. I finished it. I just have to look into publishing. I'm going to be doing self-publishing. I don't have a publisher, and I probably never will. So there's a lot of options, though, for self-publishers. So hopefully, if all works out, I plan on having this on most platforms. It'll be digital. I'm not going to probably do print for a while by the end of this year. For sure, it'll be on my website. But I would like to I'm going to try Kindle direct publishing. There's a couple other, like I said, self-publishing that basically just go to ebook. As far as I know, I really haven't looked into it. I've done a very cursory glance, kind of an overview of self-publishing. But so hopefully by the end of the year, I will have this published. And I was really excited to write this book. I'll probably talk a little bit more about it in that first episode. Because this is kind of what started me thinking that maybe I should change direction with the podcast. And once I started writing, I kind of realized that writing is really what I love to do. I always have. It's one of the few things I'm actually good at. It's one of those things that were in school. If I had followed what I was good at, it was writing and biology. And if I had followed those two paths, I think things would have been a lot easier. I don't know if I'd been happier, but college, grad school would have been so much easier because I was really good at writing and biology, and they were the two things I did not want to pursue. I wanted nothing to do with English and writing, and I really don't know why. Maybe just because my parents were both English majors, and not that gave me a bad impression, but it just wasn't what I wanted to do. I wasn't that interested in writing. I was really good at it. So then throughout college and grad school, all my writing became basically, it was just very, it was papers. It was critiques, it was theses. I didn't do anything creative. So when I wrote this book, Astronomy for the Soul, I kind of felt like I really love writing, and that's what I want to do. So I've started writing it'll be short stories what I'm trying for. I'm trying to do short stories at first. So I'm starting on that, and I love it. I just started writing it this morning. Today is October 7th. So just this morning I started writing this short story, and I really love it. It really, really gets me excited to write. So I feel like that's the direction I have to go. So we'll talk about all these sorts of things on the podcast too. It's going to be a little more, I think, personal than what I was going to originally do with just teaching physics and astronomy. So that's kind of the direction that we're going to go. And I think that's all I have for updates for now. Just a little bit, because since the whole direction here is going to be about all the stuff that most people consider to be woo-woo, which I think it's all just true. I think it depends on how you're looking at it, if it's fact or not. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean that it doesn't have validity. And I think that's a lot of what happens. We don't understand something, so we just brush it off as it's meaningless. It doesn't have any sort of validity or place in sort of normal society. It gets relegated to this weird pseudoscience or woo-woo, when really all it is just stuff that we don't understand. So I just thought it was kind of fun because I do love numerology. And so my first episode I'm going to release on 10/20/2024, and when you use the Pythagorean numerological system, which basically means you add up all the numbers. So if you take 10/20/2024, that's a 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4. So you add those all up, you get 11. So 11 is considered to be the first master number, which means personal growth, evolution, and divine support and guidance. And I find that very interesting because a lot of what I'm trying to do is follow more of a path that is more in alignment with the gifts I believe that God has given me. And so I'm really trying to follow more like doing God's will for my life rather than trying to force myself to do something that I think I probably should be doing. I want to do more like, what am I supposed to be doing from this sort of divine perspective. So I thought that was pretty cool, that that's what 11 means. And then when you break that down further, you add up 1 plus 1 and you get 2, which means has a lot to do with partnerships, collaboration, relationships, and kind of a feminine energy of sensitivity. So that's what the date of my first episode release breaks down to numerologically, and I thought that was pretty cool. I have a different reason for choosing that date. I didn't think of the numerology behind it. I just happened there's a specific reason I want that date, and it just happens to break down into this 11, master number about divine support and evolution, personal growth, which I thought was pretty cool because that's all this podcast is about now. It's about how I'm changing directions and exploring more personal growth. So that's pretty cool. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about stuff like religion, spirituality, numerology. I'm going to talk about all the weird things that nobody wants to talk about. So hopefully you guys will stick with me. I don't know. I know it's kind of a big change from doing just straight up like physics and astronomy, but this is what I've always wanted to do. So again, I'll talk more about why and how I came to this decision in that first episode. This was meant to just be a short update for you guys, just to tell you that I am here and things are on track, and it's getting to be a little bit longer than I had meant. So I'm going to put a bookend on this for now, and I'll get this up on the various platforms today. If wherever you're listening, you can go to YouTube. I'm on Spotify, Apple. There's a new one that I signed up with called, I think, Good Pods. I've never heard of it, but pretty much anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find me. If you want to follow me there, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's email on the website. So wherever you want to get hold of me, guys, please do. I would love to hear from you. And I will, I guess, talk to you guys on probably on the 20th. I'm going to post, obviously, the episode. But also, I'm in our Facebook page, The Interested Reader. Get in there and send me comments, questions. I'd like to talk to you guys. So, thanks for listening, and I will talk to you guys in a couple weeks. All right. Thanks, guys. Love you. Bye.